List. I am the owner of the Grief School. I teach an educational program on grief and loss. I teach women, hey Suzanne, hey Veronica. I teach women how to move beyond the pain of grief. I get down into the mud with you and we go over the grieving process. What does it mean to grieve? What is grief? I look at areas with you that people just aren't out there talking about in grief. They aren't out there talking about a grief. And I want to apologize for being late. I babysat today, came up at the last minute. I babysat for my niece, Kayla. Kayla is the sister of Donovan and Austin, and I babysat for her today. And she has a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And I babysat for her today. And I'm actually not still there because Kayla came home sick and I got off early. But when I tell you I was being tortured today, it was a grieving experience what I had to go through. Hey, Fog Girl, how you doing? How you doing, my love? All right. I want to welcome each and every one of you tonight to the live. Today we're talking about grieving the life that you thought you would have. Grieving the life that you thought you would have. That's what we're going to go into today. I appreciate you guys allowing me to start a little bit late and me letting you know that Brittany's printing something that I'm sorry. Nobody tells you that grief doesn't just steal your person. Nobody comes along once you start grieving and they're like, hey, girl, it's not just your person you're going to grieve. You're going to grieve this, 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 and this. Hey, let's make a list. Let's get a list and let's make a list of all the things. It is in those things that you realize this is going to be really bad. This grief is going to be really bad. I don't know if I can do this. This is going to be really bad. Nobody tells you that grief doesn't just steal your person. It steals the life you were building with them. It steals the life that you thought you were going to have. Hey, Miss Joanne, it takes the rhythm of your days, the plans that you were counting on, right? The quiet little promises you never even said to anyone out loud. Those get taken from you. Hey, Dee Dee, those get taken from you. You weren't just imagining birthdays and vacations. You were imagining a future with your person. A solid, felt story. A life that fit together. That's what we were imagining. That's what we were promised. We weren't sitting around thinking about what our life was going to be like when they were no longer here. Nobody was doing that. We weren't sitting around going, okay, but when they're not here, we were planning the future that we wanted to have with them. Your life fit together. It was nice. Hey, EK, your life was nice. It fit together. And then one day, just like that, it was all gone. Just like that, it was all gone. 1 minute, you're living inside the life you're living inside the life that feels familiar. You're living inside the life where things are great. You're waking up next to each other. You're smiling. You're standing with your person. You guys are planning it together. And the next thing you know, you're standing in a world that doesn't line up anymore. You're standing in a world that doesn't make sense. And that world that you are now standing in is gone in a second. Your story has shifted. Your story has shifted. I didn't say that it ended. I said your story shifted. I'm going this way, and now I'm going that way. It didn't end. Your grief story hasn't ended yet. You're actually in the middle of your grief story. Do you realize that you are still formulating your grief story? You're still putting together the parts of your grief story that make sense to you. Sometimes the way we translate this grief story to other people, it doesn't make sense. Everything made sense before. The roles you played, the routines you built, the person you were, it all made sense. And now, as you and I are standing here talking about it, it's all different. And nobody warned you about that part of grief. Nobody talks to you about that part. People will ask you how you're holding up. Hey, girl, how you doing? I haven't seen you since the funeral. I've been thinking about you. You know, I've been thinking about calling you. I've been thinking about reaching out. But how you doing? See that? She doesn't really want to know how you're doing. She doesn't want to know how you're doing. And you know she doesn't want to know how you're doing by the way she asked the question. And so you do what you think you're supposed to do and you say, I'm fine. You know you're not fine. You're not fine. Stop saying you're fine. You're not fine. Stop saying that. You're broken. You are broken in ways that nobody can explain. Say that. I'm broken. One griever that I've been working with recently, she says, it's unbelievable. How are you? Unbelievable. It's unbelievable that I can go through this. It's unimaginable. She's like, it's what they want to hear, so I give it to them, but it means something totally different to me. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable that this is my life. It's unbelievable that I have to go through this. But then she doesn't have to tell the lie. You're broken in ways that you can't explain. And yet you smile, you nod, you say you're okay because it's easier. It is easier than trying to make them understand that something at this point they are not living through. It is something that you never wanted to live with. You also know it's coming in their direction. They also know it too, but you know better. You feel it deep in your bones. The loss doesn't stop at the funeral. It keeps going and it keeps echoing everywhere you go, in everything you do. In everything you do. You just got the notice. I'm sorry I'm late. No, I was late. I didn't get on at 5. I was babysitting today for my niece. Thank you, Miss Debbie. Hey, guys, Miss Debbie's here. She helps us monitor the group, so I love that. No, I got on late. I apologize for that in the beginning. The loss doesn't stop at the funeral. It keeps echoing through everything. In the lives, in the little moments, the life you used to share, the little moments you used to take for granted, the jokes you guys used to tell, the jokes that nobody got but you, the sick jokes that nobody got but you, the things that you guys thought was funny and nobody got it, the thing that was your thing. Well, this is our thing. We do this. Unstoppable Me says the laughter, the smell of the coffee in the morning. And what does that mean now? The smell of coffee meant us together having coffee. The plans that were written in your heart, but you never got a chance to have them. They never got a chance to happen. What happens when all of that disappears? What do you think happens when all of that disappears? What do you do when every plan that you made has a hole in it now? Your heart has a hole. When I tell you, you feel lost. Unstoppable says you feel lost. When I tell you, you have to grieve what could have been. You have to grieve that part, the part that could have been. You have to grieve the future. You have to look at that future. You have to go down into that future and you have to really look at it. And that grief, when you decide, oh my gosh, she's right, I got to look at this, that grief can hit just as hard. Grievers ask me all the time, am I still the wife? Am I still the mother? What part of that lives in this future? Am I still the best friend? Am I still the best friend? I'm her best friend. I'm going to be her best friend. I'm not trying to take it from you and I'm not trying to freak you guys out, but it is a question that you ask yourself sometimes. It is a question that you ask yourself sometimes. Because grief isn't just about missing them, it's about missing you with them, missing the future, missing all of those parts. The version of you that existed when they were still here. I've said this before. The mom who hung two stockings instead of one, right? I'm going to hang her baby stocking, but I'm going to hang her big girl stocking. I'm going to hang her baby stocking by the front door, but I'm going to hang her big stocking over here for the holiday. You're the mom who did all that. You're the mom who went the extra mile. You're the mom who made sure she had all the science projects done, who had all the book reports done. You're the mom who, when she told you she had to still do a book report, you got out of your bed at 11 o'clock at night and went to Walmart to get a poster board. Yeah, you were mad. I know, because I did it too. And you yelled and screamed the whole way, but you're not going to let them not go in without their project done. You're that mom, right? You're still that mom. You're the wife who looked across the table and saw her person. You're the wife who looked across this table and saw that he didn't have a knife and you got up and got the knife. You're the wife that he got up early and made your coffee and brought it to you in bed. You're the daughter who called her mom for the pie recipe every Thanksgiving. You're that girl. And who are you now? Who are you now that they're gone? What happened with the version of you that existed that no longer fits? Suzanne says, I'm a keeper of all the memories. Hey, Miss Erica. EK says, it's a hard question for me because she's still alive. She's still my best friend. And that's the question. Is she still your best friend? EK, when I go down in there and I think about it, she's still my best friend. Who are you now that they're gone? What happened to that version of you that existed? What happens when that version of you existed with them no longer fits? That's where the pain digs in the deepest. And that's the stuff we don't talk about all the time. It's not just about missing. It's about how we're disoriented because of the missing. You woke up in a life that doesn't feel like yours anymore. The minute it happens, the minute your loss happens, you are forced to go through this path that you had no intention of doing. Yeah, you still know how to breathe. You still know how to get through the day. You still know how to make the bed. I never said that. You can still put one foot in front of another, but do you want to? Do you even want to? Here's the other part that's really hard. The world keeps moving, but your heart stays frozen in that moment. Suzanne says it's a new reality we never asked for. This is the aftershock of your loss. It's the aftershock that goes on for a very long time. Someone takes you and they're doing this, and you're expected to just keep going. It's quiet. It's quiet. Here's the other part that's really hard. It's invisible. It's invisible to everyone around you. No one is talking about it because it doesn't make good conversation. It doesn't make good conversation to talk about your grief during dinner. Sandra says the identity of the other grief is the identity of myself isn't who I am anymore. Debbie says, I don't even really like this new me. Hey, Martha. It's quiet. It's invisible. People aren't talking about it because it doesn't make good conversation. They don't want to sit at the table. The world only knows how to show up for the first loss. They show up for the funeral. They bring the potato salad. They bring the ham. They sit by your side for 2 weeks. You'll be lucky if you get 3. They have casseroles. They have cards. They know how to show up for that part. And just as quickly, they're gone. The world only knows how to show up for that part. After that, you're on your own. You're left to navigate 100 tiny losses that keep hitting you every single day. How do I do this? What do I do about this? What do I do next? Have you noticed how the world wants you to move on while you're still learning how to get out of bed without crying? I promise you they mean well. I really do. I have to believe that they mean well. That's where I have to be. I have to believe that they mean well, but they have no idea what they're asking of you when they ask you how you're doing, or they ask you to come to dinner, or they ask you to still make the turkey for Thanksgiving. You can't just move on. You can't just move on from the version of yourself that made sense with your person. You're trying to hold it all together. I want you to know I see you. You are trying to hold it all together. But first, you tell yourself, just hold it together. Just hold it together. And then you tell yourself, well, if I just keep busy, maybe people won't notice that I'm really falling apart. If I just keep busy and I just keep the traditions alive, people won't notice that it's killing me. If I keep the traditions alive, for them, it doesn't matter whether I have to make the turkey this way or not. If I don't think about it too much, maybe it'll still feel normal. But here's the truth. It doesn't. It doesn't feel normal. It feels deep. The pain is deep. And you know the truth. Come on, guys, let's be honest here. You know the version of your life. You know that version of your life is gone. And no matter how tightly you keep trying to grip it and pray for it to come back, it ain't coming back. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Flagro says, the old me is gone forever. It left me on January 29th. What would it feel like if we stopped pretending we were fine? What would it feel like if we actually grieved the life that disappeared right along with them? What would it feel like if we actually grieved the part about being the daughter? What if we grieved the part about being the wife? What if we grieve everything that went with that? What would that look like? What if we actually grieved the parts that were missing? The parts that were missing. What would it look like if we actually grieved the life that had disappeared right alongside of them? Would we be okay? Would we be able to do it? Here's the thing. Grief isn't just about the death. It is also about the change. And the change that is forever is a part of that. It's about your identity. It's about everything that dies when your person's life ends, when your relationship ends, when you have to move and you no longer can be around your family and friends anymore. It's about everything that ended. It's about the identity of who you were. The routines, your sense of safety, your sense of security, your sense of trust, your belief in the world. Your belief in the world. Did that end when your person left? It's about identity. It's about everything that dies when they die. You didn't just lose your person, you lost a world that made sense. And that's okay to say out loud. It's okay to say it out loud. It's okay to admit that you're grieving. It's okay to admit that you're grieving more than one thing. And it's even okay to say it to the stranger who asks you. Hey girl, how's your grief? How's your grief doing today? Hey balloon compass, I see you. Do you ever look around and think, this is my life? Do you ever look around and think, oh my gosh, this is my life now? But do you also think, was it supposed to be like this? Is this what I signed up for? I signed up to be through this pain. I got in this line to come back here and be this person. I don't know if I can do this. I'm speaking to the universe, to the world, right? To God. Do you ever catch yourself wishing for just one more normal day? Give me back one of those days. Give me back one day. Give me back the day that I was yelling and screaming. Give me back the day that I was so mad. I'll be a different person. I'll take the worst day back than go through this. Hey, Jess, I see you. I'll be right back. Do you ever catch yourself wishing for just one more normal day? That ache where you're aching for a normal day, where you're aching for the world to go back, where you're begging for the world to go back, is a secondary loss also. You might be trying to rebuild something so that you can get back to your new normal. You're trying to rebuild something, or you're ignoring what's really going on. But rebuild doesn't happen until you tell the truth about what's broken. I got to say that again. A lot of you are trying to rebuild and get to the new normal. You tell me it all the time. I'm in my new normal. I'm living in my new normal. No, you're living in your new reality that is painful. You're living in the unbroken. You're living in the forever changed. That's what you're living in. There's no new normal. There's no normal anymore of a new version. There is forever changed, but there's no new normal. You can't heal something you're still pretending isn't shattered. You cannot heal something that you're still pretending isn't broken. This part of grief is asking you to stop running from the reality. That old life is gone. You can't step into a new life while you're still trying to keep the old one alive. You cannot step into the new life while you're still trying to drag the remnants of the old life with you. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. But that's the truth. He's not here. She's not here. They are not here. And what has happened to you is completely not fair. And it is the worst thing ever. And I'm telling you, it's the worst thing ever. But you can't just move on or pretend like it's all okay. You're allowed to grieve the future you thought you would have. You're allowed to grieve the wedding day that you won't attend, the grandbaby that you will never hold, the inside jokes that you will never hear. It all mattered, every single piece of it. And when you finally say it out loud, when you're naming what is missing, it will take the first real step for you towards healing. By naming it, by saying it. I'm not asking you to erase it. I'm asking you to say, hey, this really happened to me. You see, grief isn't just about death. It's about disconnecting. Sarah says, forever all alone. My heart to yours, Miss Sarah. Truly, my heart to yours. Truly, my heart to yours. Everybody on TikTok, I'll be with you in just a minute. As soon as I'm done teaching, I'm going to come answer every question there. Grief isn't just about death. It's what breaks in between. It breaks you in between. Who you were before and who you are now. And that break happens in between. You're in the middle space right now. You're in the in-between where everything feels unfamiliar. Here was my life before, and here's where I'm headed, but right now I'm right here. I'm trying to figure out how to exist in a world that doesn't match my heart any longer, This world does not match my heart. That's the hard part. Trying to fit into this world, trying to get this round ball into this square peg, it just isn't happening. It's where a lot of grievers get stuck, and they won't move on beyond it because they're so stuck. Friends, have you ever noticed how heavy it feels to be pretending like everything is okay? Have you ever noticed how exhausting it is to try and hold it all together in front of everyone? You're trying to hold it all together in front of everyone to make them feel okay. It's because you're carrying two lives, the one that they need you to be and the reality of who you know you are. Most of us are carrying the two lives. We walk into the room carrying the two lives. This is who they need me to be, but this is who the reality is. And I promise you, you won't be able to do both forever. You won't. Fizzy says it's exhausting. You deserve to let go, not of your person, but of the version of the life that ended when they did. Whether it's through breakup of a romantic relationship, divorce, or death. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. You will never forget them. It means making space for what is next. What's next in my life? It means learning how to carry your love forward. So I want you to ask yourself this. What part of my old life am I still trying to keep alive? You guys, that is a brain dump. That right there is a brain dump. What part of your old life are you still trying to keep alive? You got to dump it because you got to know what it is. What would happen if you stopped pretending that you ever could go to the before, go back to the before? What would happen if you stopped pretending that you could go back there? Because you can't, my loves. We can't. This is a tough lesson. I'm sorry to bring it to you right now, but I'm bringing it to you for an absolute reason. Suzanne says, I miss the naivete and her innocence. I know this is tough, but I'm bringing it to you for a reason. Okay. When you start answering the questions honestly, I promise you, you're going to begin to find yourself again. You're going to find yourself again. And this is where healing begins. It begins in the honesty. It begins in the cracks. It begins in the moments where you finally stop trying to rebuild the same house and same building, same new, same what's left. Hey, thank you. And here's the truth no one tells you. It's okay to miss your life. It's okay to miss the life that you've always wanted. It's okay to miss the life that you thought you were going to have. It's still okay to cry for a future you'll never live again. Hold on, someone just walked out the door. It wasn't my son-in-law. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm sorry. He printed these and I think. Matt? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. My son-in-law is a realtor and he's going to show property. And he printed out all the paperwork for the property and he didn't want to knock on the door. I knew that. He didn't want to knock on the door. I'm so sorry. Thank you guys for your patience. So he was going to go try to show the property without the listings. He needed them. Okay. This is where healing begins, in the honesty, in the cracks. We've got to look into the cracks. In the moments where you stop trying to rebuild the same old life. I don't mean it old as in it's old and decrepit. I mean, looking back, she was my best friend. We got into shenanigans together. We did all kinds of things. But I moved to a whole new state without her. And it was really hard. It was really hard to move without her. It's even hard to still be here some days without her. We did everything together, including the holidays. Sharon was my best friend. And she got diagnosed. She died in July. In May, we had Mother's Day. And I don't know what made me do this. I went to look for a recipe on carrot cake. And I decided to make carrot cake cupcakes. I knew she was sick. At this point, I knew she was sick, and I knew we were on borrowed time. And I made carrot cake, and I'm not a baker, so I don't know why I did this. This is so I could have this memory, I'm sure. I made carrot cake cupcakes, and I made the icing from scratch. You guys, this wasn't even in the recipe. I took a little bit of lemon extract and I put it in the whipped cream icing, which made the carrot cake so good. It had this like little hint of lemon in the icing. The reason I'm telling you this is I tasted these at a wedding. Oh my gosh. I tasted these at a wedding and they were so good and I wanted to make them. And I was like, there's lemon in this frosting. And that's where I got it from. I'm not a baker at all. She made such a big deal out of those carrot cake cupcakes. She's like, you need to sell these. You should make these and sell these. I was like, girl, I don't even know where I got the recipe from. I couldn't even remember the recipe. I stayed up all night making them. I'm smiling because I can still see her face. She loved me. She loved me for who I was. She loves me. There's a video of that Mother's Day. Her son is a filmmaker and he took a beautiful video, and every now and then it always comes up in my memories, right? I can't go back to that. I can't go back to that time. Hey, Monette, I can't go back to that time. I've never made those cupcakes again. I've never made them. I just happened to find this recipe and it worked out. It was fabulous. And I made them for her. I made them for her because I knew she loved it. Here's the truth. No one tells you it's okay to miss your life, even though they're not here. No one tells you that. And I'm telling you, you're going to miss them. But that gut-wrenching pain, that's the part we go after. And it's okay to cry for your future that they're not going to be in, that they don't live in. It's okay to look at your life now and feel like you don't recognize it. That's doing the grief work, breaking down what was so you can slowly start to find what is next. You can't rebuild until you tell the truth about what you broke. What is broken, not about what you broke, but about what's broke. You can't heal until you stop pretending. You got to stop pretending. We don't rush through it. We do not rush through it. We actually take our time and we go through it. So I want each and every one of you to take a deep breath because here we go. 1, it cannot be rushed. 2, it doesn't have to be fixed. You don't have to start by pretending everything's okay. You start by telling the truth. I'm grieving the life that I used to have. And that's where your healing is going to begin. Nobody warned you about this part. You had a picture in your mind of how it was going to be. how you were going to celebrate their birthday, how you were going to show up at the wedding, and how you were going to show up at the holidays. And that, my friend, is the era that we're walking into. We're walking into the holidays, which is in the future, without them. The holidays where their name is still written on gift tags when you open up that gift box. And now what? What do you do when the whole version disappears overnight? The story you were living in suddenly stops making sense. You wake up in a life you didn't choose. You look around and realize everything you expected, every dream you wanted, everything you counted on is all in a big mess. People keep asking you how you're doing when you can't even answer the question. The next thing they come back with is, hey, girl, what are you doing for the holidays? How do you even answer that? How do you even answer that? I don't want to answer that. If you haven't started thinking about it, you will be. You will be after I just said it, of course. Because a lot of you have pushed it in the back of your mind because you don't want to think about it. Debbie said, I thought I'd be okay this year until I walked in a Hallmark and the Christmas is out. Because the truth is, it isn't just about missing them. It's about missing you with them. You're the mom that hung all the stockings. You're the daughter who called her mom for all of the recipes. I said this earlier. You're the woman who believed Christmas morning would always feel safe. You are the woman who believed Christmas morning would always feel safe. Who are you now? What happens with that version of you that existed with them no longer fits? I talked about it yesterday morning, and it's the secondary loss. It's the kind of pain that sneaks up on you and knocks the air out of you. Do I even decorate the table? I don't know. Do I set a place for my person? I don't know. Do I go to the holiday? Here's what I do know. You're not going to decorate this broken heart. You can't put an ugly sweater on that's ugly enough so that you don't feel the broken heart, but people see it. You can't make the holiday meal, pretend like everything's okay, and have a fake smile and let it be okay. You have to face what is broken before you can rebuild it. And one of those things that is broken is going into the holidays without them. Deborah says, I'm not thinking about the holidays. I'm just trying to get through October. Yeah, girl, I hear you. I hear you. But guess what is in October? It's everyone making this big deal out of death when you're actually living it. You're actually living it, and they're celebrating Halloween. So that's why I created this class called Surviving the Holidays. We're going to do this together. We're going to talk about the future, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year. We're going to talk about the new year. We're going to talk about going into the new year. We're going to talk about the calendar changing. If you guys are anything like me, I wanted to push it and make it stop. What are you doing for the holidays? What is your plan? Are you telling the truth to yourself? And the truth is this: birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, they're all coming. So on Saturday, we're going to start with 1 hour lecture hall. It's where I'll teach you how to face the holidays during the grief, with the grief, without the grief. And this Saturday, we're talking about Thanksgiving. I want to talk to you about how to build new meaning, how to protect your heart. What are you going to do when you're hungry? What are you going to do when you're lonely? What are you going to do when you're tired? How do you set the boundaries for your family? Those are the things we need to talk about. We need to talk about those things. And I'm starting with Halloween for sure, the decorations. And then we're going to move into a grief share. So it's 1 hour of me doing a lecture and then a 1 hour grief share. It's a private space where you'll be able, the grief share is a private space where you'll be able to talk openly with others who are in the group. I want to hear about where you're struggling. Let me coach you. Let me help you. Go away, please. I got a 3-year-old at the door. Let me help you. Let me coach you. Let me help you through the areas you're stuck in. If your plan is not solid and you need help with your holiday plan, come to the grief share. It's part of the event. That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the parts that we hate. We're going to cry. We're going to laugh. We're going to be together and love upon one another. Both of them are going to be done in Zoom, but they're 2 separate Zooms. I'm going to start telling you guys that now. It's 2 separate Zooms. It's the only way that I can do it. The first one is got to be recorded without talking. And I don't want to record anything you ask me. I want your business to stay your business and stay private. So we will come onto the first Zoom and we will do the lecture. If you sign up for the event, you can't make it, you will get that video recording emailed to you. The second one is where we come together, where I actually have the plan. I actually have the plan laid out, and you and I, step by step, will go through the plan, what we need to do, where are you putting this in the plan, where are you doing that, and I'm going to leave you some homework instructions on how to fill out the plan. What are the traditions you're willing to keep? What are the traditions you need to get rid of? You'll leave with a plan for the holiday, a plan that honors what you've lost, that gives you room to breathe again. If you are interested in coming to the Surviving the Holidays, it's a 3-part masterclass. It is this Saturday at 11 a.m. It is November 8th at 11 a.m. And it is December 6th at 11 a.m. We're doing Thanksgiving. November, we're doing Christmas. December, we're doing the New Year. Click my picture, click the link that says click here for hope. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you just click the link that says click here for hope. Anyone. You can write in without the www, just write clickhereforhope.com and you'll be right at the page. Tickets are $19. Grab your seat because you'll want to make sure you're in there. It is going to be amazing. It is going to be amazing. I think it's going to be life-changing because what part of my future have I not been able to grieve yet? What part of my future do I still need to grieve? What part of the Linda says that Linda is in here. She said, what a precious memory. Yeah, it was a great memory. Hey, Bill. It was absolutely a precious memory. Really great. So glad that you're here, Linda. Hope you're doing well. How's it going, my love? How's it going? All right, friends, everybody on Facebook, on YouTube, thank you so much. I'm going to answer all the questions that I have left over in the TikTok, and I will be back tomorrow at 5. Also, Grief Study Halls tomorrow. If you would like to be coached live by me, if you have a question about grief, if you need to know something that you're struggling with, that's where you're going to bring those questions. That's where we get coached. Grief Study Hall at 1 p.m. It's an amazing place to come and talk about grief. And that's, Flagro says, I will try to make all of them. If you sign up, you will get the videos for all of them. That's where we're going to come, get together, and really I can answer questions for you. That's where you can get coached. That's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tomorrow night, I'll be back at 5. I'll be back here tomorrow at 5. There will be no Processing the Pain of Grief on Thursday at 4 o'clock or Honor Society. Guys, Tony is being honored. He's going to be a person of honor at a museum that is opening. And so I'm going to be gone on Thursday night. That just came up at the last minute. So I'll be gone Thursday. All right, TikTok, hold on. I'll be right there. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.